Let's kick this explainer off with a massive, mind-bending quote from the absolute legend himself, Nikola Tesla. He said, "If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the universe." Okay, so a guy who literally pioneered the modern electrical grid drops a statement like that. You pay attention. And actually, that one fascinating sentence has sparked a massive modern viral phenomenon blending math, mindset, and daily habits.
So today, we are unpacking the 369 manifestation method. We'll explore the exact, actionable steps to pull it off, look at those historical roots tied to one of history's greatest scientific minds, and, most importantly, we'll break down the cognitive psychology that explains why this viral technique might actually get you real-world results. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the key to the universe. Then, how to practice 369. Next, we'll hit the science of focus, followed by variations of the method. And finally, we'll wrap up with tips for manifestation success. Section 1. The key to the universe. Let's look at why Tesla held these 3 very specific digits in such incredibly high regard.
Proponents believe the number 3 represents creation, 6 stands for balance and harmony, and 9 symbolizes completion and spiritual awakening. But listen, Tesla's fascination wasn't just mystical, right? It was deeply rooted in the hard science of energy. He studied vortex math and observed that in fundamental physics, and specifically in the frequencies of alternating currents, which he obviously knew a thing or two about, these numbers kept appearing as nodal points. He firmly believed that to understand the universe, you literally had to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Today, people use these numbers as a bridge between that underlying energetic frequency and our physical reality.
Section 2. How to practice 369. So we have the theory, but how do we actually do this? Let's turn these abstract concepts into a daily, actionable routine. The absolute core of this method is the number 17. The starting block is holding your desired goal in your mind for exactly 17 seconds. Why 17? Well, this comes from the teachings of folks like Abraham Hicks, who suggested it takes precisely 17 seconds for the human brain to truly create the energy of a specific thought. It's not just a passing, "oh, I want this" kind of wish. It's a concentrated, unbroken focus that begins aligning your brain's energy with the reality you are trying to create. Take a really close look at the phrasing of this example affirmation. You absolutely must state your goal in the present tense using emotive words. Instead of saying, "I want a new house," which subconsciously implies you currently lack a house, you say, "I am so grateful that I am living in my dream home filled with peace and abundance." You see the difference? You have to speak as if it's already sitting right there in front of you. Those emotive words, grateful, peace, abundance, are the actual fuel that lets you physically feel the outcome in your body. And here is how the 3, 6, and 9 actually come into play in a classic journaling routine. This forces you to consistently align your focus morning, noon, and night. In the morning, you write that 17-second affirmation 3 times to set your intention for the day. In the afternoon, maybe on your lunch break, you write it 6 times to amplify that energy. And right before bed, you write it 9 times to lock it in, setting that manifestation in stone as you drift off to sleep. Section 3. The science of focus. So why exactly does writing something down over and over again yield real-world results? Let's dig into the science. Psychologically speaking, this whole method is basically a massive workout for something called your reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of your RAS as a bouncer at the club of your brain. It's a bundle of nerves at the brainstem that filters out all the unnecessary junk, so only the important stuff gets through. When you write your goals down 18 times a day, you are literally reprogramming that bouncer. You are training your brain's filter to actively notice pathways, connections, and opportunities that you probably would have completely ignored otherwise, just because your brain previously flagged them as unimportant. You can actually look at this practice through 2 totally distinct lenses at the exact same time. On one side, you have the law of attraction, which leans heavily into Tesla's ideas of energy, frequency, and vibration, trusting in divine timing. On the flip side, you have cognitive psychology, which views this as a literal masterclass in building self-efficacy, which is basically your belief in your own ability to succeed. By repeatedly affirming your success, you reprogram those filters in your brain to hunt for opportunities. So whether you believe in the mystical energy of the universe or the hard science of neuroplasticity, the daily practice achieves the exact same physical result, a relentless, laser-like focus on your goals. Now, a quick reality check. It is incredibly important to heed the psychological research here. Studies actually show that individuals who rely purely on the belief of manifestation without grounding it in reality can sometimes be drawn to riskier financial investments, and statistically, they're more likely to experience bankruptcy. Yikes, right?
This is just a vital reminder that while this method is fantastic for fostering a positive mindset and brilliant self-efficacy, it is absolutely never a magical substitute for realistic planning, financial literacy, and, hard work.
Section 4. Variations of the method. Now, if sitting down with a pen and a journal 3 times a day just does not fit your schedule, don't worry. Let's look at some alternative ways to apply this framework.
This method is incredibly adaptable. If you hate journaling, try the voice method. Just say your affirmations out loud 3 times in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, and 9 at night. It's totally perfect for a daily commute. Or you could try the alarm method, which taps directly into that reticular activating system we just talked about. You interrupt your day with 6 alarms where you mentally repeat your goals. You can even supercharge this with a gratitude combo, adding things you're thankful for to keep your brain focused on abundance rather than lack. The core mechanism here, repetition, remains perfectly intact no matter how you deliver it.
Section 5. Tips for manifestation success. If you are going to commit to this, let's make sure you aren't wasting your 17 seconds of focus doing it wrong.
These are basically your absolute rules of engagement. First off, be highly specific. A vague desire to just be happy won't train your brain's filter at all. Second, speak as if you already have it. Use I am, not I will. Third, feel the emotion. Your brain remembers emotional states way better than neutral ones. Fourth, and this might be the most important one, detach from the how. Focus purely on the end result, and let your brain or the universe figure out the actual pathways to get there. And finally, avoid conflicting thoughts. You can't write about financial abundance for 17 seconds and then spend the next 3 hours complaining to your friends about how broke you are. It just cancels it out.
And of course, none of this matters without consistency. This is the #1 hurdle. Most people quit after just a week. 21 days is the absolute bare minimum to build this cognitive habit. 33 days is the most popular target for this specific framework. But if you want to push further into deep psychological reprogramming, aim for 45 or even 69 days to truly wire this belief system into your default daily routine.
So, the huge takeaway from this explainer is that whether you're viewing this through the lens of Nikola Tesla's scientific observations of fundamental physics or through the strict cognitive science of your brain's reticular activating system, the end result is exactly the same. Your thoughts shape your focus, and your relentless focus shapes your reality. Which leaves us with one final very important question for you to answer right now. What will you write for your 17-second affirmation today?